Hey everybody, it's your friend Kevin, and this is your vibe of the day, I think. Something like that. So really not exactly a vibe of the day, but more on this new series or start of a series called The Commitments to Change, Growth from where we are to where we're going. And I said yesterday that we would start with the first one, which is Seek the Truth. For those of you who are joining, let's see if I can get to the 12 commitments. Here they are. Seek the truth. And then tomorrow we'll do Be Willing to Come Apart and so on and so forth. But seeking the truth is what we're working for today. And then I put this up. What do you know for sure? Like, my question to myself is, what do I know for sure about myself and the direction of my life? Like, you could look at, well, what do I know for sure about my life? What I know for sure is I own a home. I own or care for or have 6 dogs that are my pets. I know for sure that I am self-employed. I know for sure that I am a man who is in his 60th year. I know for sure that I am single. And then what was the other part of it? Oh, and the direction of my life. Well, this is an interesting one because when I look back and I see, and I'll get to why we have to reflect in a minute, and I see the journey that my life has taken, I am quite astonished at some of what I have accomplished, most of which I really, truly intended, but not to come out the way that it did. So this is really kind of interesting because today's focus on committing to change yourself is seeking the truth. Now, some of you might be like, well, what I know for sure, that's good, seeking the truth. But it's not actually looking at where you've lied or where you're not truthful, where you're not honest with yourself. Those are what you know for sure. What you know for sure is this habitual chit-chat that you have with yourself. I'm fat, I'm to this, I'm to that, usually negative chit-chat. That's the ego running the bus and talking out loud and trying to get you to be in fear. Seeking the truth is getting unstuck from that ego. But it isn't getting unstuck in a way that you have to look back and reflect on where you came off the rails, where you didn't do what you were supposed to do. You can do a little of that, but if you sit in it too long and you get too stuck there, the ego is going to run the bus again. So the key really is not focusing on the many ways you've lost your way or how you've been bad. The key to it is looking at the real truth and letting that message, that lesson, set you free from that dialogue. So to put it in general terms, let's see, how can I land? Okay, so in 1997, I got diagnosed as being a type 2 diabetic. So we're talking, 30 years ago, maybe 20 years ago. Yeah, more than 20 years ago. Now it's almost 25 years. In the beginning, the truth was, once my blood sugar goes above 7%, or in the case of when they discovered it, my blood sugars were off the charts. You can't reverse that. You can manage it, but you can't ever undo the diagnosis. You can't really say you're no longer diabetic. You or I or the doctors can say you have it under control and you're managing it. So you manage it without medicine, but eventually you're going to need medicine. That's the truth. That's the truth. For me, I went into denial. I didn't believe it. I was like, yeah, no, I'm not. Went to the gym. What I wasn't doing was telling the truth about the fact that I'm 250 pounds and my body can't take that much weight. And it's just beginning to tell me enough already. You know, you're 37, I think, at the time, 35, somewhere there. And you've got this healthcare and you've been warned about it for a while. The other truth that I know now is that sugar, the raw sugar, the sweet tooth, all of those things is like heroin to a drug addict. A type 2 diabetic craves sugar the same way a heroin addict wants heroin. Now, that might seem a little bit like, good gracious. Why? Because we've got this thing attached to drug addicts that they're whatever they are. I don't, but people do. I believe everybody has an opportunity to look at the truth, not to dig into there and sit in that soup of sadness and shame, but to look at it and say, okay, are you going to commit to changing? Are you going to commit to let that truth, let that lie, let that egoic silliness set you free? So here's what I now know, and you can follow along. How many of you are following social media and you get to see people sharing and posting what they've done, who they are, what they've got, how they've got it? I have a sign in my salon that says, I hope that someday your life is as fabulous as you pretend it is on social media. Because that's really what it is. It is this idea that I have to project this image of myself to the world at how I am having this incredible life, because that's it's expected of me. That's what people want me to be. The truth of the matter really is, seeking the truth is getting unstuck from the need to want to have to do it. So, another case in point, I stumbled upon yoga, went to the yoga classes. It was in my mid-40s. I was not what you would typically say a yoga body. I was certainly not 18, 17, 20% body fat. No. I was a jiggly wiggly oompa loompa with lumps and bumps and curves and goodness knows what. And when you leap from downward facing dog to the top of your mat, it was wobbling. And if we were on a floor with hollow underneath, there was a clatter. But quickly, slowly, but surely, I got into shape. And then the truth became, how did this 5x3 mat create this? And it wasn't easy, I will say, but never has the road to peeling back how we got there, is it easy? I told you, or many of you know me personally, in 2013 I had a major heart attack. I'd actually been having several. I was not listening to my body. No insurance, no way to be able to pay for any kind of medical anything. So I was just rolling along thinking, okay, I'm going to just keep going. That was at the point where I go into the emergency room and I'm hearing a voice that said, because I'm trying to bargain with the hospital about how much is this going to cost. And if it was going to be a reasonable amount of money, I would say, okay, we can do it. But if it was going to be a certain amount of money, like I can't remember what my number was, 80,000, 90, 100, I wasn't doing it. And I heard this voice distinctly that I thought came from a human person in the room, but it didn't, because there was nobody in the room, that said, if you are meant to survive this, the money will come and you'll get paid for it. So at that point, I'm like, oh, okay, that will be fine. And then they realized there was no one there. It was spirit, literally saying, if you don't get this taken care of, you're going to die. Little did I know, or at least little did anybody else know, or at least what I hid and didn't tell the truth about, is that prior to that, 2 weeks prior to that happening, somewhere in the end of August, I was really super depressed. And I was on the internet looking for ways to end my life. Just researching it. And the phone rang. It was my good friend. What you doing? What's going on? And that's when I felt, oh, I need to. The truth is, I don't necessarily want to do that. But be careful what you ask for, because 2 weeks later, here I am in the emergency room. And 2 days after that, I'm back on the yoga mat. So getting unstuck and coming out of this lie that we tell ourselves about our lives, because it really isn't the truth. The truth is, the real truth is, you and me and us and all of us are truly beautiful, honestly powerful, incredibly creative. You know what Albert Einstein says? Creativity is intelligence having fun. That's really what it is. So then why have we listened to other people who've told us this is wrong, that's wrong, you're not this, you're not that, you're not going here, you're not going there, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, blah, 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 blah. All of which really turn out to be that person's truth and not yours. To seek the truth requires all of us to remap the mind, because thinking and the mind has got to be remapped, changed directions, reminded that is this really true? And for that, it does take some true work to remind ourselves that these are just thoughts that create emotions that work through the body. To remap the mind comes from the silence. And I've got something funny to tell you about taking a bath. Remapping the mind, I just thought that it went woof. Remapping the mind takes place in the silence of the heart. Well, what does that even mean, right? Again, we can talk these bougie talks and say these flippity flula things, but truly get quiet and listen to what it is in here. Listen to this stuff. So what happens when we remap the mind and we listen to the silence of the heart? The ego, which is that part that's not true, the other side of us, the side that we've known for a long time, just wants to keep us in fear. The ego, when we start listening to the heart and moving towards truth, thinks that something terrible's happened. The ego thinks it's a death. You know that ticker tape in your head? Oh my God, you shouldn't. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, this is terrible. Can't leave my job because I won't get paid. Can't pay that bill because no more money's coming in. I'm guilty for that. That is not the truth. So when you start working on where you want to commit to change, whether it's weight loss, whether it's getting out of debt, whether it is having a better self-image, whether it is the constant need for attention, I can't say that in a way that I'm knocking you, but it comes from give the attention to yourself, give the attention to you. Unfortunately, when we say things like, can't afford it, I'm too fat, I'm ugly, no one wants me, no one sees me, I'll never find a partner, I'll never be married, I won't this, I won't that. These are declarations. These are saying to the universe, this is becoming the truth. This is the truth that you want it to be when you say these things. And we say them. You can say, my parents don't love me. My this one doesn't do that. My that one doesn't do this. And then we behave in a way that's crazy. Go on shopping sprees. You've all heard of retail therapy. I was sharing, let me Let me get to my bit about taking a bath. Oh, this is priceless. So here I am yesterday, relaxing after I've got back from work, and I did a little hair and I liked it. It was fun. I thought, I was waiting at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock. I'm going to take a bath. I'm going to put the lavender foam bath in it. I'm going to get the oils out. I'm going to have a good time in that bath. Like the candles. Oh, it was great. My dogs were getting on my nerves, so I put them in the kitchen because they just kept following me from one room to the other. It's like, for goodness sake, go lay down, do something. I filled the bath up, lovely foamy water. It was just wonderful. And I go get my lighter, get the candle. I go back in the bathroom and the water's gone. Like, where's the water gone? There's a little thing in my bathtub that's either up or down. I think the bath is original with the house, which was 1969. One way lets the water stay in the bath, the other way lets the water out, and I had it backwards. I was determined to take a bath. Determined. So I flipped it, so no more water went out. It was still relatively warm, but not nice and hot. It wasn't tepid, it was okay. And I got in it, right? So then, I thought, let me just put some more hot water in. So here I go, pulling the thing. It's stiff as a board. I probably need to tell the truth and get my bathroom remodeled, but that's another story. And the water's coming in somewhat warm, not hot, somewhat okay, but not really hot. And then it is tepid. Okay, what's happened to the hot water? There is no way I've put 40 gallons of water in this bathtub. No way. Well, the next thing that happened, all this kind of brown looking water came out the tap. So I'm thinking, I was so looking forward to this lovely bubble bath, and I'm sitting in basically probably the dregs of the water heater coming in the bathtub, like, oh, thank you, whoever, for giving me this fun, because what else are you going to do? I get out, I towel off, go in the other bathroom and shower off. I'm like, okay, I think I'm just going to climb in the bed and go sleeping. Anyway, sometimes things happen, and it's what we do with the things, how we react to the things, that makes a difference. So, commitment number 1, seek the truth. Know when you're telling yourself something that isn't really in alignment with who you are, which is brilliant, beautiful, fantastic, capable. And if you've been gnawing with this idea that you're supposed to do something with your life, and you're meant to solve something or leave your job or, end a relationship, and I'm not talking romantic, it could be friendships, then do it. Know that you sometimes have to get a bit uncomfortable to go to the next level. I'll share this. It's a little sad. In the last 2-3 weeks, I've heard of a number of people that I don't know well, but I know, or did know, who've passed over very suddenly, very quickly. Here in Charlotte, North Carolina, I don't know where you are in the world, a young mum goes back to work, was working in an accident, and she gets killed. All kinds of children. There are people who very quickly are leaving the earth. Now, I don't want to put a damper on it. I don't want to, give you a reason to be sad. But what the truth of that is, just as I had these warning signs in 97 and again in 2013, this is it. This is not a dress rehearsal. We only get to do what we're doing right now, this minute. And unless it's really affecting you in a truly negative way, get in your own lane. Find a way to lift up and raise a vibration. So before we get to the cards, because I will read the cards, let's get to tomorrow's commitment to growth or change. And that is going to be willing to come apart. lose your you know what. We have to lose our life to find it. Oof. That was a quote by Anne Morrow Lindbergh. We have to lose our lives to find it. Oof. All right, my friends, let's get to the cards. Let's see where we are. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. All right. Oops. See what we've got today. Thank you, angels, archangels, ascended masters, my ancestors, my spirit guides. Thank you for revealing to me through these oracle cards what we need to know. I set the intention that whatever message comes from these cards will be for my own highest good and the highest good of everybody who is out there listening. I ask Father in the sky, Mother in the earth, to bring a message. So be it, and so shall it be. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there. What do we have? Learning experience. Ooh. So, you see, this angel has a light in the heart and a light that she's carrying, a lantern that she's carrying. You know, if this is in a tarot card, I would pretty much say that this would remind me of the hermit, or, you know, to light the way, look at the way ahead, or the pathway that we're on. And let's read what Kyle has to say. You've dedicated a lot of your time, effort, and energy to understanding yourself and the world, and have many experiences recently that have been great teachers, even though not everything has been easy. There has been a positive in that you've come to understand yourself, your gifts, and your abilities better than ever. You're deeply connected to who you are, what you stand for, and what's important in your life. When this card comes, angels are acknowledging the challenges and obstacles you've surmounted recently. And although it may have been a difficult time, your faith and inner strength have increased. Know that the cloud has a silver lining, and you will soon move beyond the feeling of being stuck or unsupported. His extended message reads, inner peace and a sense of security come from overcoming hardships. Without the challenges that life presents to you, you wouldn't be the person that you are today. This is a time for you to reflect on the incredible strength you have. No matter what has gone wrong for you, you've made your way through the darkness into the light. And when this card comes, your angel guide, your spirit guide, your guardian angel, is inviting you to ask yourself, what have I learned from this? This card represents a teacher. You've the teacher you have within, and through integrity and connection, you'll be able to find a message within the mystery. If you're still facing challenges, you're being encouraged to keep going and trust that the worst will soon be over. The light at the end of the tunnel is actually you. Wow. You know, that's about transforming ourselves and realizing that we're here. We arrived. We have every right to be here. Incidentally, the chakra that we work with in these 12 commitments to change, the first one, seek the truth, is the focus, but the first chakra is the Muladhara, which is the base chakra, the one that's right up underneath, and its color is red. And really it is about being connected to the soul, being connected to the earth, being rooted. So before we leave or before I go, I'll say this. If your soil that you're rooted in needs nutrients, peace, love, understanding, whatever that looks like for you, nurturing, that's the soil that your root comes from. And you've got to learn that, you deserve to have good soil to grow from, no matter where you are in life. Right, my friends, I love you and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.